there, welcome to CGTN. We're coming live from the city of Sanmenxia in central China's Henan Province. I'm Ruixue. Sanmenxia is a city along the middle reaches of the Yellow River, China's second longest waterway. And where I'm standing now is inside Sanmenxia Dam. It was the first dam of its kind on the Yellow River. It was completed in the 1960s. Today I'm going to take you to look around how everything works here. And join me here is Ms. Ning Jianhua. She's a deputy of National People's Congress. She has been working here for nearly 30 years, so she knows everything in this dam. Welcome, Ms. Ning. 非常感谢接受我们采访，宁老师。谢谢。能给我们简单介绍一下我们现在所处的地方吗？
我们现在所在的地方是三台水电站中央控制室。
Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Could you brief us where we are? We are in the Sanmenxia Dam and located in the city of Sanmenxia. It is an important city, and we are at the monitoring center of the dam. It is like the axis of the human's brain. So it is the hub of the whole dam. Yes. So what are the main features and functions of the dam? This center is part of the control system of the dam, and it plays an important role in preventing the flooding. And it was built in 1957, and it stopped the flood very effectively in 1958. So it helps protect the forests around this area, and also helps generate the electricity for the neighborhood. So it prevents the flood that amounts to 10,000 cubic meters. So it helps protect the people living in the lower reaches of the river. So it protects the safety of the river, of the Yellow River. So almost 30 years have passed. I don't think people have this opportunity to visit this center very often. So could you tell us more information about it? Here you can see the facilities, the information centers and data centers of the dam, where you can track every piece of information and data about the dam. So it runs nonstop for 24 hours a day. So this facility is for tracking the information of the whole dam. And this control commanding center also receives and gives command for managing the whole dam. And there can be times for a repairment of the dam, so we also have people on watch. So if there is any problem with the running of the dam, what can we do? So if the management of the dam encounters a problem, we can track the information and the query here, and we have people on site to check the problem. And then we confirm on the problem and give notice to the management sector to deal with the problem. Can we get the information, relevant information from the screen? Yes, this screen presents the images of the dam. And the factory for running the part and compiling the parts for the dam facility. We have a complete set of facility on site. And I can notice on this map, we can read different colors. Yes. You can read information on the power transmission and power converge on this map. And this is the converter. And through the power can be transmitted through the transmission route. And the red signal means the power station is running running smoothly. Well, it's quite beyond my imagination that this dam was built in 1957. And it can accommodate such a great capacity of power for the people. So I think it's a great endeavor. Yes, the dam was built in 1957. At that age, we called upon the strength of the whole nation to build the dam. It plays the role of preventing the floods and protecting the forests and solidifying the water flows. What is this screen used for? Well, this screen reports the figures of the power units. And all the operation figures are presented on the screen. The power units, and it says how much power is generated with each power unit. Can you show me the power unit? Because I'm curious how power is generated through the facility. Okay, I will show you later. We need to wear a safety helmet. You have been working here for nearly 30 years. You have seen for your own eyes each and every change within the power station. You must know every detail about the power station. Yes, I have been here for nearly 3 decades. I have fought my whole life and my career here. I feel so proud to be part of this great endeavor. I have 3 points, three feelings about this dam. This dam plays a great role in improving the ecology along the river, along the Yellow River. The ecology has been improved a lot after the dam is built. Well, the power capacity is very high, and it reaches its peak in 2019. I think we need to put on our helmet before entering this factory. So this place is for commanding the operation of the power units. So this dam promotes the balance of ecology, and it improves the biodiversity. The bird species improved from 100 to 300 now. We now can see the swan and other bird species. This is one major change brought by the dam. Another change is that the power grid has generated green and clean energy. and promoted the economic progress. It does good to the well-being of the people, improves the livelihood of our people, and also elevates the economic performance. So we are at this commanding center of the power units. We can see the power units everywhere in this place. This is Unit 1. How many units do we have? The total power capacity, installed capacity is 450,000 kWh, kilowatts. So the water is pressurized into power to generate power. And this facility has a rotating magnet that turns water into power. So below this station is the Yellow River. So it turns the water into the power. Yes, that's exactly how it works. So where is your duty? Yeah, I mainly work here and also in other offices. I oversaw the operation of the Phase 2 facility. This power station, by working here, you have been making great contribution to the development of the Huanghe Yellow River. Yes, I feel very honored to be part of the endeavor. So what are these facilities about? These are units 1 to 5. It weighs with a capacity of 150,000 kilowatts, and they were from the 1970s. The Unit 5 facility is being under repairment. And Unit 5 has the capacity of 600,000 kilowatts. Speaking of the power capacity, so it can accommodate 300 million cubic meters of water. For 3 consecutive years. In 2021, the power generated capacity amounted to 2.1 billion cubic meters. So you have been a deputy for the 2 sessions. You have been putting up recommendations and proposals to the conferences. So as a deputy, I have taken the field study and the surveys and to listen to the people around us and to solicit opinions from the people on their interested questions. And based on these surveys, I have been collecting the opinions and the proposals to be tabled to the conferences.
科学合理的确定我们三峡水库汛期这个水位建议。另外一个建议就是
So the
够科学调度
capacity of processing the water and the sand of the dam is very important to this area.
不足的问题，这两个建议。
I have been tabling two proposals.
今年带着什么样的建议去北京呢？
今年
One proposal is about controlling the sand amount within the dam.
还是围绕着我们
You know, the two sessions for 2022 is around the corner. What proposals do you have to table to the two sessions?
希望就是我们这个国家层面上
Well, my proposals center on the
变化的时候，
location, on the positioning and the role of the Sanmenxia Dam
它的作用
in the new era,
重新的定义研究，希望能够发挥更好的作用。
and also about the sand and water processing capacity of the dam
北京，然后一切顺利。
and its role in preventing the floods around the region.
我是不是应该把帽子给取下来了？
Well, thank you very much to be part of our interview.
非常感谢。
I hope you wish you the best for your participation into the two sessions.
Yellow River Basin is quite important to economic environment protection and strategically to the Chinese development and modernization. We've been working on protecting the Yellow River for decades, and last December, lawmakers of the Standing Committee in the 13th National People's Congress, China's top legislature, have reviewed a draft law on protecting the Yellow River, and it's the first law on the Yellow River after protecting the Yangtze River law. So here now we're coming out and we can see the Yellow River now, and we're going to meet somebody who has been working on, one of the members who's been working on to make the Yellow River protection law, and we're coming here to meet him. And now we can see the Yellow River here. It's far much cleaner than before. Its water quality is improving all the day. And here we're going to meet Mr. Gui Fan. He's working for the Yellow River Conservancy Commission for nearly 30 years, and he's one of the member of the draft law of the protecting the Yellow River. 非常感谢您接受我们采访，桂局长。您在这个黄委会工作了差不多30多年了哈，然后这次又是作为这个黄河保护法
Thank you for taking our interview,
制定的人员之一，能给我们讲一讲
Mr. Gui.
您是怎么参与这个？
You have been working in the system for nearly 30 years, and you are part of the drafters of the Yellow River Conservancy law. So could you tell us something about the process? Yellow River is the mother river of the Chinese nation and also the cradle of the Chinese civilization. The whole nation puts great attention on the preservation of the Yellow River, and the top leaders of China also attaches great importance to Yellow River. And President Xi Jinping called on a important conference to preserve the Yellow River this September, and established a Yellow River Conservancy Committee. And then our law drafting work has started after the conference. So the whole committee, the government decided to make a law, introduce a law for the conservancy of the Yellow River. So after we submitted the draft, it was reported to the State Council. Now, the Yellow River Conservancy law was submitted to the National People's Congress at the 20th of December last year. And the process is running smoothly. So the process of drafting a law is very complicated. You need to go to the Yellow River on site for several times. Yes, we have carried out several field studies. The judiciary, the National Reform and Development Commission, and other departments jointly carried out field studies. And the chairman of the National People's Congress, Li Zhanshu, also joined the commanding work. So the Conservancy law represents the spirit of making a law, making the spirit of the law, the rule of law, and for the law. So does the law specify on the processing of the water and sand in the Yellow River? Yes. The law made specifications on the preservation of the waters and the sands. We follow strictly the guidelines of the President Xi. And we make it very important to command and monitor and coordinate the water and the sand in the river. A big problem about the Yellow River lies in the great amount of sand. So it is we used to diverge the sand from the water. But after the dam was built in 1957, it played a greater role in coordinating the sand and water. But in the beginning stage, the role is not well played in terms of coordinating the water and sand. But as time goes by, we are improving more and more. So coordinating the water and the sand helps improve the flowing speed from 1,800 meters per second to 4,500. We prevented the sand from falling on the bottom of the river, and the water level has been lowered. So the water has been flushing the sand away to a greater extent. So the greater capacity of the Yellow River in washing away the sand has demonstrated our ability to preserve the North China's prairie land. Well, the draft of the law has demonstrated our ability in reaching the goal of improving the ecology and protecting the safety of the region. The draft has been greatly improved. It has grown mature. And I believe the enactment of this law will improve people's livelihood greatly.
Civilization.
So we also
For decades, Chinese people is making all its efforts in improving its ecological environment and the livelihood of people depending on it. And we have witnessed the huge changes. For instance, the water quality has been improving all the time, and the Yellow River's water is far cleaner and clearer than before. For instance, in Sanwen Yellow River Wetland in Pinglu County, Shanxi Province, every year it's improved ecological environment, and upgraded protection measures have attracted thousands of wild swans every winter. And my colleague Chao is standing there at the moment, and she will take you to see those beautiful swans and tell you how the local people strike the balance between the economic development and environmental protection. Now our live streaming continues here in the Pinglu County in Yuncheng in northern China, Shanxi Province. This place is known as the Sanwen Yellow River Wetland, sitting at the middle stream of the Yellow River. It borders the Sanmenxia city and is also part of the Sanmenxia Yellow River Reservoir. The wetland covers an area of 67 square kilometers. It is one of the top habitats in China for the water swans to spend the winter. Every year, more than 10,000 wild swans come to this wetland to spend the winter, and the number of them has been increasing over the years. They usually come here in October or November and continue to stay until February next year. Last week was actually the time for them to leave and start their northern migration, but a cold snap hit the region, and that delayed their northern migration. But in recent couple of days, as the weather gets warmer and warmer, most of the wild swans here have left, leaving only perhaps dozens of them remaining in the water. As you can see, the swans look very beautiful and elegant in the river. As for how this wetland is so much favored by wild swans and other migratory birds, and what's the story behind the scene, now let's bring our special guest today, Mr. Zhang Jing. Well, Mr. Zhang Jing is the head of the Nature Reserve and Biodiversity Office in Pinglu. Welcome to our show, Mr. Zhang Jing. 张静主任，张静鼓掌。欢迎您参加我们的节目。And he will tell us more about these beautiful creatures here. So first of all, why this wetland is favored by them, and how many of them come to this place every year? 就是您告诉一下我们每年大概有多少天鹅过来啊？为什么他们要来咱们平陆这个地方？然后大概这个天鹅有什么样的生活习性？您简单的介绍一下。
好的。
How many swans are there in this place every year? And what is their habitat? Could you tell us something about their life? The swans came here from West Siberia to this place for spending the winter. It amounts to 10,000 last winter. And when spring starts, they began flying back to Siberia. So each swan has a spouse. For a grown-up swan, and they are in white.
The last point that
So they prefer to go
female ones from the
in a family.
So you can see
for a male,
neck is thick or
this
thin.
one has a thinner
the one
neck.
with a thick neck is a male, and the one with thin neck is a female. And actually, yesterday we went here to prepare for today's live streaming, and there were only about dozens of the wild swans staying here. But today, this morning, we saw
maybe 3 times the number of yesterday. So why we see more swans this morning? 就是张静老师啊，就是我们昨天来的时候，看到这里可能就是有个20多只左右啊，但是今天早上我们看到可能有60-70只，反而这个数量增多了，这是为什么呢？
这个是由于这个别的地方的大天鹅，它在迁徙的这个路线途中。
Yesterday, when we came here, we watched only 20 of swans, but today we watched 60 to 70. Why is that? Well, it's because more swans came here for taking a rest before they flying to a next destination, the Siberia.
我们知道，当地的这个居民也好，然后政府也好，我们都花了很大的力气去保护这些野生动物。具体来说，我们做哪些事情呢？
我们平陆的县委县政府高度重视这个野生动物这个保护工作。
We know the local government and the people have been protecting the swan groups a lot. So what have you done to protect them? Well, we attach great importance to protecting the swans. The annual budget for protecting the swans amounts to 6.3 billion RMB. The county government and the conservancy group signed a joint agreement for the conservation of the swans. And so each level is taking their accountability.
Will feed this wild swan from time to time. 就我们巡护员也会对天鹅进行一个投喂，是吗？
对，因为这个大天鹅，它在平陆这个3湿地栖息越冬，它主要还是靠自己寻食。我们每年都会在这个
So the patroller feed the swans, right? Yes, the swans feed themselves in most of the times. We plant the wheat surrounding this place, and when the water is frozen, the lake is frozen, then the patroller step in to feed the swans.
And as you can see, this is a bowl of corn, and this is what they eat. And now we'll spread this corn into the river. Well, in the past, these wild swans used to be very scared of people, especially when lots of people are here, they will feel so scared. But as time goes on, as the protection measures is been carried out, they gradually feel that the presence of people poses no threat to them. So they kind of get used to be with humans. And the local officials also warn tourists to stay a distance, to keep a distance from these wild animals. So while you feed them, you have to remember, don't get too close to these wild animals. So what's their favorite food besides the corn? 那张静主任，这个除了这个玉米，他们还喜欢吃什么？
他们主要吃这个植物的这个叶、根、茎，包括这个玉米这个杆子、小麦这个麦苗，还有这个白菜，这都是他们比较喜爱吃的食物。
Apart from corns, what's their favorite food? They like eating the leaves of and the poles.
Don't eat maybe because they are not capable to catch them. So generally speaking,
do they eat
wild swans
fish?
are vegetarian.
No, that's probably because
所以他们就是一个素食主义者。
对对对
catch the fish.
他们基本上以这个素食为主了。
So while we appreciate the beauty of these wild creatures in the river, we may wonder how their different gestures and moves, what's the meaning of their different moves and gestures? Like sometimes they will fight with each other, and sometimes they are chasing each other. And also they are living here, they are staying here together with the wild ducks, how they get along with each other. 所以张静主任，就是我们在欣赏这些野天鹅的时候，也看到它们就是有各种各样的这个活动。
对。
有时候会嬉戏，有时候会打闹，还有打架。
对。
包括它们跟这个野鸭子在一块儿怎么生活？这个您能告诉我们这个背后的故事是什么吗？
这个大天鹅它们主要是以这个群居家庭式的为主，就是我们刚才说的一夫一妻制。
The swans like to play with each other, and sometimes they play with the ducks. Could you tell us some stories behind? The wild swans like to go together in families. When they seek food, they seek in a family. So when they fight for food, they shout at each other. If they win the fight, they erect their neck high and upright to show that they have fight a victory. I can see that the swans like to have their wings open.
据我了解，他们展开翅膀也是他们的这是一种活动，一种运动因为他们毕竟是在天空中飞行的这个大天鹅是吧？他们在这水面里面，它会定期的这个舒展出来这个翅膀。我们通常所说的练翅。
They open their wings in order to relax, to exercise. They fly in the sky very often. And now they are in water. So sometimes they to play, to demonstrate themselves.
据我了解，他们在一起生存，应该没有什么影响就是互不干涉他们共同在这个三湿地这块。
So how do the ducks get along with each other?
没有发现有什么不适应的东西。
I
don't think the ducks have any problem in getting along with the swans. They can live in harmony.
那我们之前谈到了如何区分男女，那么如何区分老少呢？
这个天鹅就是区分它的年龄，据我了解，应该是从这个羽毛这个颜色来看，因为成年的这个大天鹅，就是它年龄越长，它的羽毛会越白，就格外的洁白。然后像当年的小天鹅的话，它们的羽毛的颜色一般就。
We can tell the age of the swans by the colors of their wings, of their feathers. The elder they are, the whiter, the more white their feather is.
Today is really warmer, and the temperature here in the Pinglu County.
So an elder swan has a more white feather.
15 degrees Celsius. And I guess this is perhaps too warm for these wild swans to stay. 今天的气温呢，达到了1到15摄氏度我觉得也是相当的热了。那么对于这些天鹅来说，它们是不是就即将要飞走？是不是这个温度对于它们来说已经有点热了？
对，像今天这个温度，你看最高温度差不多就是14、15度，这个温度对于大天鹅来说，它们不是很适应，不是很习惯。然后到这个晚上左右，它们这批大天鹅基本上就要飞走了，就要走了。
Well, this temperature for today amounts to as high as 14 to 15 degrees Celsius. That may be too high for the swans. But when the night falls, they may fly back.
So is there anything special that they will do before their departure tonight? 那么在他们今晚离开之前，他们会不会有一些特殊的活动呢？
对，据我了解，今天晚上可能要走，然后在下午3、4点左右，他们就会成群结队的在这个三湾这个湿地这个升空，就天空中展翅飞行， 都排成这个人字形的。据我了解，
Yes, they may fly away tonight.
俗话所说的链池。
So at 3 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they may gather in groups and form a formation in air to practice and get prepared for the flight back to Siberia. It's like a maneuver.
就是他们白天的活动和这个晚上的活动有什么区别？他平时在这栖息的时候，
对，他们这个大天鹅白天他们基本上都是在这个湖面里边，湖面里游着了玩了，然后有的时间他们会上岸，但是晚上的时候他们基本上都在河里面这个睡觉了，都在河里面睡觉，然后他们睡觉的时候会
At the daytime, the swans spend most of the time in the lake.
少的啊，他们会这个。
But at night, and they sleep
他们晚上休息
on the lake.
都在水里面。
Maybe one or two of them act like
So I'd like to talk
soldiers
about the
to
number,
watch
of
the
these
safety
wild
of the
swans,
group.
which has been changing over the years. 就是还是想说一说它这个数量啊。像我们最早发现这个地方有这个野生大天鹅，是大概是什么时候？那个时候是有多少只？那么到现在我们大概每年可能要到1万多只了哈。这个数量是一个什么样的一个变化？
我们平陆3湿地这个大天鹅，应该从上世纪这个80、90年代就有了，但是等这个数量很少。
So when did you first discover the wild swans? How many were they, and how about the number now?
2008年以来，2008年、
The wild swans were discovered since the end of last century, and it began from less than 100, but now we have more than 100. Since 2008, the Pinglu County government attached more importance to improving the ecology and conserving the wild swans. So stronger measures have been taken to protect the wild swans. And now the number of the wild swans amounts to 10,000.
就是平时的话，我们这个因为游客可能现在也有一些，而且越来越多的
And more and maybe up to 14,000 at most.
咱们这个人游客啊，包括一些
Well, I don't think the wild swans are scared of people getting close to them.
安全的提示。我先翻译一下我的问题啊。
So from your perspective, when the visitors and the tourists come, how do they get along with the people?
And what kind of things that we have to pay special attention to while we interact with the wild swans?
我们平陆这个3万这个大天鹅的数量很多，每年会吸引这个大量这个外地游客在这个观光旅游，尤其是可多这个摄影爱好者。由于这些年我们对这个大天鹅等野生动物的保护，这个宣传工作做得很到位。
Well, there has been a great number of wild swans here in this place, so it attracts a lot of tourists to come here. And the government has been doing a great job in communicating our wild swans to the outside world. So when the tourists come, and people keep a distance of 1 meter to 2 meters from the swans. When tourists first came here, the swans may be a little bit scared, but when more people come, they get used to them. And people can bring the corns to feed the swans. So during the process, the distance between the swans and the people have been becoming smaller. And the swans are getting used to the people, and they are not afraid of the people anymore.
And the local officials have carried out so many measures to improve the ecological conditions here. What changes have taken place here? 我们之前也是采用了很多的这个措施来保护我们的湿地啊，我们当地政府花了很大的力气。我们在投入啊各方面有一个什么样的机制？然后包括您这么多年在这里看到什么样的变化？
We know a lot of protection measures have been put in place to conserve and protect the swans. So, what measures have you taken to protect them, and what kind of changes have taken place in this area? Well, we have put in place a protection fund that amounts to 600,000 RMB per year, and 400,000 RMB goes to the protection of the water areas. For example, the lakes used to be the fishing ponds or planting the vegetables, but we renovated this place to better preserve the water.
Invested some 30 million yuan into the protection, into the environment improvement of this area. Could you tell us more about this? 平陆县曾经是国家级的一个贫困县，那我了解到2020年，它投入了3000万元在这个生态保护方面。这方面您能做一个简单的介绍吗？
对，随着这个近些年来，尤其是习总书记提出的红河流域保护和高质量发展，我们平陆县委县政府也是高度重视红河流域这个生态保护工作。2020年我们县财政
Your county invested 30 million RMB into the preservation last year. Could you explain more about it? Where our county government attaches great importance to the conservation of the wild swans and also improving ecology. Last year, we invested 50 million RMB in preserving the Yellow River ecology. And for this year, we will invest over 6 million RMB in building a new road.
就您也是在这里居住了很多年嘛，那就是我们投入这么多以后，您有看到一些特别大的变化吗？您自己作为一个居民也好，作为一个环保工作者也好，您看到了什么样的变化？
随着近年来我们财政对这个生态红河流域生态保护
You have been living in this place for a long time, so have you ever noticed any great or dramatic changes in this place?
生态保护工作，然后我们这边
Well, last year, the fiscal investment into the ecology has improved a lot. We invested in total 30 to 40 million RMB into the improvement of ecology, and the ecology has been improved.
在我们这边这个
And now you can see the flowers, the fauna and the flora around,
efforts that we have put in the
and
environment protection.
it has become an attractive place to the tourists.
The region that used to be poverty-stricken. So, how the local officials balance the economic development and the environment protection? 那么我们有这样的投入啊，我们这么大的投入，那我们又是如何平衡咱们这个当地的经济发展和这个生态环境保护呢？
对，自2020年以来，我们平陆县开展这个红河流域保护这个生态保护项目，投资3000余万元。然后我们这个项目
How do we balance the economic development and ecology preservation in this place?
它吸收了这个很多这个贫困户
Well,
的
since
资源
to
通过这个项目的实施，
2020, we invested 30 million RMB in improving ecology in this region. We set up a cooperative unit
从我们这个红河流域
to
保护
recruit
然后我们这个
members
平陆山湿地这块生态
to
环境的逐步改善，
increase
在这边旅游观光的这个爱好
the
者特别多。
income of the poverty-stricken families by 8 million RMB.
农家乐还有这个
And now the ecology has been improved gradually,
50多家，这样在
and more and more tourists come,
可以带来一定的收入。
and there has been
23万元，用这个大田等野生动物
the
保护
folk style families and tourist sites receiving the visitors. and their income has been improved also too. A lot of efforts have been put in place to preserve the wild swans, and the people who are working on the preservation have also been improving their income. So the improvement of the ecology has delivered tangible results in the Sanwen region and Pinglu County, and we have improved a lot, both in economy sector and also ecology.
All right， 那我们现在就再喂一下吧。And I have to remind you to follow our CGTN official accounts in all our social media platforms across the globe. And thanks for watching. 这个他们会不会吃多呀？
不会，
也不会吃撑。
他吃饱他自己不吃，就又出去玩去了。你看这个就是公的，你看这个，这个看不出来，为啥？因为它还小。